On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We've got a lot going on right now. Some major arrests possibly happening. Got a little more information on the ICE shooter. And Trump is making a bold move right now with the deep state and the ability to potentially shut down the government. He's running chicken hard on them, and we're going to see, because they're going to be the ones that are going to have to blink. Otherwise, oh no. Oh, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, and I do apologize for any noises that you are likely going to hear. There's some work being done, and I couldn't wait because of the live show I've got coming up later today, so I apologize just in advance for noises that are going to be loud. Anyway, check this out. Beautiful moment. The U.S. Marine Corps silent drill platoon was performing at the White House. I also went in and all received little presidential coins from Trump. Pretty big deal, but this is pretty cool little performance. Check it out. It reminds me of one of the videos I saw recently where there was one of the things where they do the gun, right, and then they hand it to their like drill instructor or whatever, and then he does his little things and checks it out, right, and they have their little moments where they stop, and then, well, when he went to throw it back, he threw it like from behind his back to him, and the dude didn't catch it. It hit the ground, and then the drill sergeant, had to walk past him in that cool little walk they do, picked up the gun, walked past back, went to hand it back to him, and when he did, it fell apart. Anyway, it was kind of funny. All said, we got one more of these little kind of cool things. Dan Scavino had a beautiful moment. Check this out. He proposed. Good man. He deserves happiness, that is for sure. And if marriage is what you want to do, sir, dadgummit, I hope it goes well for you. Hurricanes. We've been kind of following these two storms. They're doing a little funky thing. Umberto, they're saying, is going to be basically the lead hurricane. That's his top guy. And it does seem to be pulling the bottom guy up with him. Kind of interesting. Anyway, check this out, a little graphic out that they weather people did. Yeah, see, watch. You'll see as it gets closer. Right? You see how it almost kind of grabs it and swings it up? It helps if I'm in there too, but yeah. So anyway, looks like it's probably going to go up the coast and probably drag this bad boy with it. We shall see if that is in fact what happens. We'll be watching that over the next couple days. U.S. intelligence have netted one of the largest baby traffickers out there. In fact, they call her the she-devil, La Diabla. And she is accused of running an infant trafficking ring. They literally would trick women that were pregnant into going to these certain facilities. They'd get them to those facilities. They'd do a C-section on them without their approval. They'd do a C-section on them, take the babies out, and then let the moms die. And literally take the babies. And they were selling the babies for like 14 grand. And God knows what they're doing with them. Let's just say that. Organ harvesting, obviously a lot of other nasty stuff. They got this lady. This is a big, big grab. Martha Alicia Mendez Aguilar, known as La Diabla. She is no longer out there causing harm, thank God. Mainstream media, they forget they've been warning about Tylenol and pregnancy for over a decade, and they really have. This goes way back. People have just been digging all over the place. CNN, back in 2021, painkillers should be investigated to developing fetuses. 2017, study links acetaminophen in pregnancy to ADHD. 2016, acetaminophen during pregnancy may increase risk of hyperactivity in kids. CNN now, Trump links autism. Show more, right? Like, so again, we've got here Reuters. Too much Tylenol in pregnancy could affect development. Back in 2013. Now all of a sudden, it's totally okay. Tylenol all over the place. Talking about how you shouldn't do it. Take this stuff during pregnancy, except now. And yeah, Tylenol even said, we don't recommend taking this product. Again, they've changed their tune. But it's been like this forever, right? Forever. And so it's tripping people out, right? Samantha Steele Ponder, this is apparently the new thing that everybody's saying. I've, for all 3 pregnancies, told me I'm totally fine taking doctors. Every doctor I had for all 3 pregnancies. There's a bunch of people that are saying the exact same line. Megan McCain, every doctor I have had for all 3 pregnancies told me it's totally fine to take Tylenol. Samantha Steele Ponder, same exact thing. Right? What's going on? We're just sharing Tylenol's post here. It says we recommend not using any of our products while pregnant. This lady here, I'm not going to play the thing. It's really long, and it's decent at best. But she's talking about a phone call she got from a husband that the wife is literally one of these people that took a whole bunch of Tylenol to prove a point while she was pregnant. Baby was 23 to 25 weeks, and she literally has overdosed on Tylenol. Literally. And what it's done is essentially shut down her kidneys. She's on a respirator. She is, from what they're saying, going to die. One thing she does get into is this is not a good way to die. It's just a tough way to go. It's not a fun way to go. And these people that are, first off, Tylenol is not good for your kidneys, period. Just end of story. I mean, it's just not a good medicine to take often anyway. And then to take a crap ton of them thinking, they're nothing. It's just a bunch of stupid people that are injuring themselves. And it's unfortunate, right? Tylenol now, of course, has come out and made this new statement. We stand with science and we stand with you. For generations, families have trusted Tylenol when it matters most. Tylenol is one of the most studied medications in history and is safe when used as directed by expecting mothers, infants, and children. Now, I think the as directed would still imply you're not supposed to take it when you're pregnant. But if they take it as directed, which means you don't take it, yeah, you're going to be totally fine, totally safe. So it's a funny statement they make there. The facts remain unchanged. Over a decade of rigorous research endorsed by leading medical professionals confirm there is no credible evidence linking acetaminophen to autism. It's not true. There was 27 studies that did suggest it. There was 13 that didn't. Again, that's the science. This is Tylenol, a drug company that's worried about people buying its product, not about your health, and care less about that. I'm going to play a little of this. James O'Keefe, seems like they've got another bombshell undercover video here. Senior DOJ Epstein investigators claiming on record that children were raped while Bill Clinton was on the Epstein plane. Even talks about President Clinton too, President Trump being on his plane multiple times, which I don't know if that's fully accurate, but certainly said there was never any children around when Trump was there, which, okay. But I'm only aware of the one flight that he's been on, but maybe there were multiples. Whatever the case was, Trump had known Epstein for a while anyways, but here is this undercover information.
It's not talked about yet, but it's soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people.
Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax of the case, like a hoax or something. I mean, come on, you know it's not a hoax. He's been on the plane, many times. Mm-hmm. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids.
I've seen the itineraries and I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. While the Clintons were on the plane, while Bill Clinton was on the plane, there were rapes that occurred.
Overheard.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff. So, we'll see what continues to come out. I think more information is going to, and it's going to be horrible for all of them. Turning Point USA on the cusp of having a TPUSA or Club American chapter in every high school and college campus in America. Not only did they not stop the movement, they, in fact, made it stronger. They've given a place for so many conservative, white, Christian, male, specifically, to find a place where they can find other like-minded people that will not treat them like they're the worst thing that ever happened on this planet, like everybody else. Everybody's wondering why are these white kids going to the Republican Party? I don't know, maybe they're tired of being the butt of everyone's blame. It's no fun, not at all. What is awesome, though, I'll tell you, is when you make healthy choices and you start to experience healthier living. STEM Active's a super awesome product. My good friends at Healthy Home, it's one of the many flagship products they've got. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Once again, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Stem Active helps get the stem cell count up in your body. As we age, that number starts to go down. That is your healing mechanism big time in your body. Stem cells are the ones that can replace other cells in your body. They can become any other cell. Like once a lung cell becomes a lung cell, it's always a lung cell. It can't ever become a skin cell, even if it wants to, right? Stem cells can be whatever they want. Now, the second they choose and make up their mind, well, they're stuck that way for the rest of their life. What this does is it helps you heal. People that have all sorts of different ailments in their bodies, certainly if you're getting heavy oxidation as we age, right, a lot of liver spots and stuff like that, you're actually going to find that Stem Active is going to help in a lot of ways. There's a lot of healing in the body that needs to happen. If you don't have the proper ingredients there to do it, it's not going to work well. One of the great things about Stem Active is it doesn't put stem cells in your body, causes your body to increase its stem cell count on its own. Right? Using plant-based and healthy ingredients, like 25 to 40% more stem cells within minutes of taking the product. They've got a gel, it's a liquid, or they've got the pills. Depending on how you want to go about it, they're the same price. Balance is helping a lot of ladies going through that change. It's helping them with their mood. It's helping with support with sleep. It's helping with their temperature. It's helping just with the whole mess of things that are going on. And again, there's no synthetic hormones. It's plant-based products that are helping your body deal with this change. It's transdermal lotion. You literally put a little on your wrist, you rub your wrists together, and you've done your damage for the day. And you're going to feel better. You're going to have more balance in your life. And one thing I'm also hearing is it's helping relationships. Amaze will amaze you. It is a collagen and it's peptide. It's collagen peptide. It's the best way to get collagen in your body. It's the most important protein in your body. If you've got sagging skin, sore muscles, joint discomfort, lifeless hair, need to grow your nails, all that stuff, collagen's a big player. In fact, it's the most important player in almost all of that. In the skin, you're going to notice such a huge difference. And it's a liquid, so it's absorbed very quickly. And peptides are the best way to do it. So the absorption and utilization is top notch. My girlfriend's double dipping on this stuff. She's taking 2 a day. And I'm telling you, her skin looks freaking radiant. It is really amazing how well it is working. Prime, extra energy, it expands your blood vessels. It's a nitric oxide booster. More blood vessels expand, and it causes more blood to flow through, which is more energy. Yeah, it works within minutes. It's phenomenal stuff. It's great before I go to the gym. I always take a Prime packet and knock that bad boy out before I head out, and I am sweet. It helps every single time. And we got Stem Active for pets, too. It's about half the price or so. As Stem Active for adults, I think it might even be a little less than, about half price, I think. And it's chewable tablet. It'll help your pets out as well with their stem cell count. Right, exactly. The same thing it does in their body as it does in yours. Biology's a funny thing. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Healthy choices, healthy thinking actually manifests healthy life. Healthy home's a big part of that decision right there. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. With the shooter, so FBI found a high degree of pre-attack planning in the suspected Dallas ICE gunman's home. A lot of search stuff that they'd done. There was some devices, apparently. There was exploit data, process writings obtained on location, different places that they were going to try to go. The suspected shooter of the Dallas ICE facility is a 29-year-old Joshua John. I thought John was his first name, or Jan, or however you say that. They also supposedly shot themselves. We said this on the roof. Again, I still find it strange that the 3 people that were killed were not ICE agents, but were, in fact, illegal immigrants that were being arrested. So, I mean, again, it's not okay. It doesn't make it better. It's just strange he didn't hit any of the targets that he was aiming for. Also, this individual was shooting a Mauser as well. A lot of people are talking about that, which is a strange thing because a Mauser's a German gun. They've got like odd millimeters too, 8 and 9, I believe. I was talking to a buddy of mine that's like really into this crap. So these are, well, just so you know, like when, people, when you see them slamming in the bottom, the magazine, which is what that is, they put it in the bottom and rack it, right? That's a magazine. A lot of people call it a clip. It's not a clip. It's a magazine, right? This is actually a clip, for those of you that don't know a lot about guns. Like the M1 Mauser, it's got this very distinctive noise. It's kind of cool. When I went to see my older brother, he had one. And he put some fake rounds or whatever, but he'd put that thing in there, and when it would pop out, it just goes ping, and it makes this crazy noise. It's good and bad. It lets you know, yeah, you're out of ammo, but it also lets anybody else around you know, yeah, you're out of ammo. So it was good and bad. Also, again, the writings are always trippy. All this anti-ICE stuff, like it's just very meant to make us think that direction. But this individual and the digging that people have done was definitely hardcore left-leaning. In fact, they were digging all over the place. I think you got Laura Logan even got involved on this. But this individual, there's all sorts of Facebook stuff before they scrubbed it. Left-leaning rants and all of this again. Another Discord thing they're bringing up again, which I think is interesting. Like they're going after Discord. There are chat rooms and stuff in there. I mean, I've actually spent a small amount of time on Discord. I don't know much about it outside of just the little bit of using it I've done, but yeah, I think there is some secretive conversations you can have maybe. Again, 8mm Mauser is what this was. It's a German rifle. It's kind of strange. It's an old school rifle. And they're cheap. I mean, I'm pretty sure anyways. I don't think they cost a lot. The ammo's probably not super common. I mean, I assume we've, like in Texas and crap, we've probably got it all over the place. But again, just strange choice of weapon. But yeah, background checks on this dude, profile pictures, now white Facebook page, a bunch of Antifa stuff, communist imagery. They had the sickle and the hammer and all that kind of crap. So it looks like this dude was definitely left-leaning. You know, they're trying to make him sound like he wasn't, but that's in fact not the case. So yeah, more information's basically come out. We don't need to kick that dead horse too much more. This is very interesting. Again, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I find this to be extraordinarily interesting with timing, with what's about to happen with the government, with the stuff that's happening down in Venezuela, with everything that's kind of going on right now. Secretary Hegseth has ordered hundreds of U.S. generals and admirals. Hundreds. That was from a report. I've seen this reported in a couple places too, by the way. Hundreds of generals and admirals worldwide to attend an urgent, unexplained meeting next week at Quantico, literally in person. That is very interesting. Now, again, the source is Washington Post. We'll see. Take it somewhat with a grain of salt. If there is any truth to that, that is, oh boy. Donald Trump talking about, well, Comey and Hillary, and yeah, there might be some problems coming in the near future. He shared this on his Truth Social. I think this was done today, or maybe it was yesterday, but I think it was today, being Thursday. And again, a good Law of One show today. I hope you guys join us for that. Or if not, you should check it out in After the Effect. All said, here's President Trump talking about how they caught these guys red-handed.
They caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
May I ask you about that, Mr. President? Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him, and Comey was there, and Clapper, the whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room. Right here, this was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life. That's the one they, look, he's guilty. It's not a question, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there, he's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it. And we have all of the documents. And from what Tulsi told me, she's got thousands of additional documents coming. So President Obama, it was his concept, his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton. Crooked is a $3 bill. Hillary Clinton and her group, the Democrats, spent $12 million to Christopher Steele to write up a report that was a total fake report. Took 2 years to figure that out, but it came out that it was a total fake report. It was made up fiction. And they used that. Now, the one thing they weren't able to do was, and probably the only thing I respect about the press in years is the press refused to write it before the election. They refused to put it in. The Steele report was a disaster. All lies, all fabrication, all admitted, and admitted fraud. She paid $12 million, and the Democrats, for that report to a wise guy named Christopher Steele. He wrote a phony report, and they wanted to get that report in before the election. And I'll tell you what, I talk about all the time, the fake news, how bad it is. But in this case, they wouldn't do it. They saw it, they read it, and they said, we don't believe it. And it was only after, substantially, like a month and a half after the election, that it got printed, and it was a big wisp. It was just like a bang of nothing, because the election had ended. If that report had gotten published by the New York Times or somebody, and I respect the Times for maybe only this, because they're crooked as you can be. They're a terrible paper, a crooked, corrupt paper. But for this one moment, they said, this is bullshit, we can't put this in. And neither could any other paper. Wall Street Journal's a lousy paper, very, very dishonest paper. As you see, I'm suing them for a lot of money because they do things very badly. It's got a nice name, but it's really, in my opinion, it's a terrible paper. And it can be corrupt. But just so you know, they didn't take the Steele report. It was the dossier. Remember the famous dossier? I called it the fake news dossier. The news wouldn't publish it. And I'm amazed. They had 2.5 months. It was finished. 2.5 months. That was supposed to be what was going to happen. And it got published a couple of months after the election. And frankly, nobody cared too much about it. But that was a big thing. No, we caught Hillary Clinton. We caught Barack Hussein Obama. They're the ones, and then you have many, many people under them. Susan Rice. They're all there. The names are all there. And I guess they figured they're going to put this in classified information and nobody will ever see it again, but it doesn't work that way. And it's the most unbelievable thing I think I've ever read. So you ought to take a look at that and stop talking about nonsense, because this is big stuff. Never has a thing like this happened in the history of our country. And by the way, it morphed into the 2020 race. And the 2020 race was rigged, and it was a rigged election. And because it was rigged, we have millions of people in our country. We had inflation. We solved the inflation problem. But millions and millions of people came into our country because of that. And people that shouldn't have been, people from gangs and from jails and from mental institutions, people that we don't want in our country, people that we're getting out, dangerous people. 11,888 murderers, many of them, 50%, more than 50%, murdered more than one person. I hate to say this with such a distinguished guest, but they asked me a question. I got to answer the question. No, Barack Hussein Obama is the ringleader. Hillary Clinton was right there with him, and so was Sleepy Joe Biden, and so were the rest of them. Comey, Clapper, the whole group. And they tried to rig an election, and they got caught. And then they did rig the election in 2020. And then because I knew I won that election by a lot, I did it a third time, and I won in a landslide. Every swing state won the popular vote. But I won that all the same way in 2020. And look at the damage that was caused.
Yeah, he kicked ass. And again, we're going to look back. And we're proven right on COVID, and a lot of us lost our channels and stuff, which, of course, some people are getting to come back, which is great. Nowhere near the success that I used to have. The channels, gotten flat, but whatever, right? I'm sure other people are seeing similar, right? We're still being shadow banned, but yeah, okay, we got channels back. Great. DOJ is going to indict, we're expecting anyways, this is the word on the street, and this is being backed up all over the place. Trump's talked about it. It's been brought up. They are supposedly going to be indicting ex-FBI Chief Comey for lying to Congress. They're going to bust him at least for that. We'll see what else they can actually get going. But here's Donald Trump talking about this potential indictment of Mr. Comey.
Mr. President, it seems like an indictment of James Comey is imminent. Would this be the first step in accountability for pushing the hoax of Russia, along with Barack Obama involved as well?
Well, I can't tell you what's going to happen because I don't know. You have very professional people headed up by the Attorney General and Todd Blanche and Lindsay Halligan, who's very smart, good lawyer, very good lawyer. They're going to make a determination. I'm not making that determination. I think I'd be allowed to get involved if I want, but I don't really choose to do so. I can only say that Comey's a bad person. He's a sick person. I think he's a sick guy, actually. He did terrible things at the FBI. And but I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, the 86-47 thing was not cool by Comey. So, again, there's a lot of stuff going to be going down. Paul Sperry's reporting this developing story. I'm told by FBI headquarters that investigators and prosecutors have been zeroing in on alleged false statements Obama's top spook, John Brennan, gave in his May 11th, 2023 deposition. He gave this in the room 2237 of the Rayburn office building. I assume that matters, or at least they're just citing exactly where this has happened, but more lying. Sounds like we're going to find out. That'll be interesting. Letitz James is maybe going to be joining James Comey.
Fraud.
And that's going to be, well, maybe kind of interesting.
The office is expected to charge Tish James, the New York Attorney General, with mortgage fraud. And, of course, Donald Trump, we all saw it posted on Truth Social in recent days, exhorting his Attorney General to charge both of those people as soon as possible. Again, you know, grand juries are secret. This is a fluid situation. It's also important to know, though, that the U.S. attorney, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in this office, Eric Siebert, was essentially forced out last week, in part because he was refusing to bring these cases. We're told that he was opposed to prosecuting both James and Comey on these grounds, and he's out. The office is expected to charge.
Yeah, so, James and Comey? It sounded like he almost said. So, this is starting to happen. I mean, justice is being served. Court records are revealing the FBI did, in fact, seize classified documents from John Bolton's office, stuff that was marked as secret or confidential or even classified. So we'll see as more comes out. This is being reported by Politico. So never know. We don't know if it's accurate. We'll find out more as stuff happens, as people get busted. And Brennan's going down for sure. U.S. Department is suing 6 states for not providing their voter registration lists. California and New York are 2 of those. I believe we've got Michigan, Minnesota, New Hampshire, and Pennsylvania are the others. And these 6 states have not given up their voter rolls. I wonder why. Pennsylvania, for sure, we've seen funny shenanigans. Minnesota, we know is a mess. Michigan, we know is a mess. New Hampshire, okay, that one actually wasn't on my radar, but it's a tiny-ass state. And California and New York, hello, of course. How do you think they're cheating so badly? How do you think they're possibly about to vote in Mamdani? And I think that's why they don't want to do them. They don't want to give these records because they want to do this governor election. They want to get, or the mayor election. They want to get Mamdani in. And they know these crazy illegal votes that they're going to use will get it done. Now, they can, in their laws, use illegal votes for local stuff. They can't for federal elections, period. End of story. It's against the law. So that is the problem they have, is because once New Yorkers realize that a whole bunch of people that aren't actually even citizens are actually voting, which steals a vote from somebody who, you know, legally has a vote. So it's not good. It's not good how this is playing out. I don't know how quickly courts can make them give up these records, but this is going to work out poorly for the states before the midterm elections, and that's what this is mostly about. And think about where we're at time-wise, right? We're in almost end of September, and we're finally getting them to force this hand. They're going to have to do it. We'll then have barely enough time to fix their registration, force them to, probably legally, because they're going to fight it. So again, this is going to be a process. It's going to be a bit of a painful process for that matter, too. We all know that the left loves crime, very much, in fact. This probably should have been... yeah, this should have been with the Charlie... Oh, this is the Charlie Kirk assassination? Let's see. No, this was the guy that... this is part of the ICE thing, so this just should have been there. FBI Kash Patel has released a bunch of stuff talking about specifics of downloading, documents and different things, different videos he was searching and all this nonsense. I don't feel like kind of rehashing that. Donald Trump truthed this out, though. The Democrats want illegal aliens, many of them violent criminals, to receive free health care. The Democrats want $500 million to help radical left news outfits. The Democrats want to leave dead people on Medicaid and Social Security rolls so that criminals can continue to be allowed to receive that payment and steal their money. The Democrats want to cut billions of dollars from our once vulnerable rural hospitals, which we fixed by giving them the largest cash infusion ever. The Democrats want men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, open borders, and perhaps most importantly of all, a 5-letter word, crime. They like it, and we don't. And so many other things that will destroy America. We cannot let this happen. We've got Attorney General Pam Bondi posting this. Today, the Justice Department announced federal charges for several high-ranking members of the Sinaloa Cartel. I don't know why I always want to say that wrong. I want to say Sinaloa, but I think it's Sinaloa is really how you should say it. Sinaloa Cartel for the alleged involvement in trafficking more than 800 pounds of fentanyl and other deadly drugs. This follows a lot of the DEA crap that's been going on. So a bit of a success. Here is another, California, another smash and grab. This is like, come on, Newsom, when are you going to figure it out, dude? That many cars pulling up like that should have thrown all sorts of flags, but whatever. I mean, they got cameras on, obviously. I would assume they got, hopefully caught some of those perps. I'm assuming they did. We'll hopefully find that out for sure soon. Trump on the American political violence, talking about all the crazy violence. Yeah.
Who do you hold responsible for the uptick in left-wing violence in the country?
Radical left rhetoric. The radical left is causing the problem. They're out of control. They're saying things, and they're really dumb people. I mean, I look at Crockett. I look at some of these people. They're very low IQ people, actually. But the radical left is causing this problem, not the right, the radical left. And it's going to get worse, and ultimately it's going to go back on them. I mean, bad things happen when they play these games. And I'll give you a little clue. The right is a lot tougher than the left. But the right's not doing this. They're not doing it, and they better not get them energized, because it won't be good for the left. And I don't want to see that happen either. I'm the president of all the people. But the radical left is causing this. Radical left Democrats are causing this problem. And it gets worse. It gets worse. And it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore. And that will not be good for the radical left. And we don't want that.
And one of the big fears they're trying to play up right now is, one, that we should be able to take guns away from people that are left and transgender. And again, there's probably some studies and whatnot. If you're on these types of drugs, it does seem to make you a little bit crazy. But again, they want to get us to the point where we're willing to take guns away from people, or that we start fighting to take guns off the streets, right? Because now we're worried they're going to use them against us. But I don't think most of us are wired like that. I think most of us actually look at it like, I got my own guns too. And so, okay. And this is why guns are it levels the playing field. Because otherwise, criminals always seem to have guns, but it's the people that are law-abiding, that if we actually got rid of all the guns, the law-abiding people wouldn't have any guns, the criminals would. So then who has the power? Certainly not the people. They've even got it in some places where they don't want you to fight back if someone breaks into your house. They're like, no, lock yourself in a room or something if you can. Don't fight back. That's not okay. It's friggin' insane what is happening with the violence and the fact that they continue to push it. So again, this is, I think, waking people up, frankly. White House orders agencies to prepare mass layoff plans in the event of a shutdown. This is their hitting chicken hard right now. They're hitting chicken hard right now. They are flooring it. It's like Footloose remember when what's his face, Bacon, right? When he had his foot tied to the tractor thing and he couldn't get off the damn tractor. So he ended up winning the chicken race on the tractor. I don't know why I love that movie. It's a great-ass movie. We're doing the exact same thing with the Democrats right now. And from what I understand, they're backing down a little bit. Schumer's been like, we'll meet you. We'll come out on a golf course and talk to you. They're trying to act like, no, we're willing to go wherever you are, but they're still asking for the same stuff. They're still asking for about $1 trillion in spending. $1 trillion in spending. We're still in debt as a nation. We still haven't gotten that worked out. They want to add $1 trillion. Hell no. So this is what basically the Office of Management, Budget Management, whatever, OMB, I think they are, whatever they're called, right? Office Management and Budget. They basically said, look, here's the deal. They sent out a message already. They're like, all right, you find any department you have that's not even sort of on board with what Trump is doing, right? Any department, right? Identify programs where discretionary funding is going to lapse on October 1st and no alternative sources available. Instead of a typical furlough, OMB has told agencies to get ready for permanent reductions, starting with positions that are out of alignment with President Trump's priorities. If the Democrats agree to shut down the government, we will change it in their absence. They're screwed. They can't let us do that. If they sign what we've given, and because we're not giving up on this chicken, right? We're not giving you $1 trillion. No, we're not giving you any of that spending. No, zero. None of the things you've mentioned. No, you're not having any of that. All right. Well, you want to shut down the government? Shut down the government. Feel free. We're going to blame you. You're going to totally get blamed, and we're going to do some serious changes while you're gone, and we'll keep it closed. It'll be the longest budget closure, and who knows? Then what's going to happen? It's going to be blamed on the Democrats. People aren't going to be able to get food. Yeah, go ahead, Dems. Dare you. Triple dog, dare you. World's going to change, and you won't recognize it when you get back. I would say bitches, but all right, I guess I kind of said it. Here's some stupid stuff states do, and I think we have one good story. A lot of it's California, by the way. Yay, good job, California. Yo, you're the best at being stupid and wasting money. We're rock stars at it. So we spent $2.2 billion. I don't know what it's cost us to keep it up. I'm assuming that's what it cost to build it. We've had it for 10 years at least. I forgot about this, actually, or 11 years, I guess, in operation. And what it is, it's 173,500 computer-controlled mirrors. And it's called a heliostat, and it reflects sunlight onto 3 59-foot towers, like you can see here. It makes this hot pot hot. Makes it stupid hot. And there's some sort of liquid up there that then causes water to spin a turbine or causes something to spin a turbine. And there you go. So they liquid metal, or I don't know what the hell it is, some weird thing. It's not water, because I think it would get too hot. Like, it's ridiculous how much wattage this can get during the day. This has just been a big fat blow. It sucked. We got 3 towers. Look at all these stupid mirrors and how much ground space is being used. Now, granted, I'm going to be honest. This is one of the places in the world, like the deserts are a really good place to do solar projects, in my opinion. One, you generally don't get a lot of rain and stuff like that, so you really maximize on the sun part. And 2, you don't get a lot of hail. Hail no on the hail. So this is a cool place to try it, right? I'd like to see more geothermal and stuff, but whatever. Like, let's not get off the track. But this is just another waste boondoggle to a degree. At least, they're trying, but stupid. California's desperate bid to charm oil companies back is doomed. There's no chance. In fact, there's a cool stat in here about how many. I think there's going to be 11. There it is. Yeah, Californians are paying $4.65 a gallon of regular gasoline, which is true, while the national average is $3.17. I can't even imagine. They said there are 13 refineries currently in operation in the state. When Valero and Phillips 66 shut down theirs this year, I believe, or just barely into next, too, that's going to go down to 11 refineries. We, as a state, had 40 refineries back in 1983. This is what the clean movement has done, and is doing intentionally. But here's the thing that's funny, and this article really points it out, is oil companies are like, no, we don't want to come back into your state. We don't want to drill your oil. Hell no, because there's all these carbon credits and all this nonsense that they charge people, and they're like, we don't want to do it. We don't want to be a part of this. No, We're not going to do it. We don't want to do it. We're not going to bid on the job. What are you going to do now, California? So, yeah, California's in another shithole because of Gavin Newsom, really, in this case. EU-style censorship. California's bill to slap $1 million fine on social media for hate speech moves to Newsom's desk. This is illegal. I'm going to assume it's going to immediately be challenged. This is so illegal. It's not even allowed. Like, European countries aren't allowed to control. Certainly a state within the union is not going to be able to take away our First Amendment. And what you call hate speech, Gavin, is one of those funny little fine lines that we have learned in the past. It just moves as it needs to. What is considered hate today, tomorrow, could be, or what is not considered hate today, I should say, tomorrow could become hate. Right? And this is an impossible legislation. If he signs this, it's going to be, I think, the death knell for him. So I think a lot of people are paying attention to this. Like, all right, Gavin, sign it. I dare you, dude. I dare you. Show the entire world how communistic you are. I dare you. I dare you, Gavin. Sign it, baby. Sign it. Sign it. Right on the dotted line, you little bastard. Oh, was that hate speech? Sign on the dotted line, you pussy. Gavin, Ron DeSantis, has a little something to say about our stupid-ass governor here in this state. And some people might get a little uppity. Oh, another state's talking about my governor. You know what? I welcome it, because our governor's a fucktard. So thank you, Ron DeSantis, for sharing your thoughts. I'm curious what they are.
You see Gavin Newsom on the late-night talk shows doxing or trying to get ICE agents doxed, trying to get them unmasked. I mean, how reckless are we getting now?
Well, this is a governor, Jesse, who is saying that he does not want ICE agents to put masks on, and they're doing that for their safety because there's a threat to them and their family out there, as we saw with the shooting today and the threats that come in daily to them. But this is the same governor who forced 2-year-olds to wear masks during COVID, and he wielded executive power to muzzle people. And so I think he thinks that he just has ultimate power to do this. But what his rhetoric is doing, what his actions, what other supposedly mainstream politicians in the Democratic Party have done is to put a target on the back of our ICE agents because they're demonizing them. They're comparing them to things like the Gestapo. And so that ends up creating an environment where people like this are going to act. So we've set the marker down in Florida. Don't even think about it. We are going to obviously defend our state and local law enforcement, but we are there right there with our DHS partners. And if you go after and target them, we're going to bring down a ton of bricks on you, and you're not going to want to do that in the state of Florida.
Nope, not going to want. So again, we're at an interesting time in history, but people are waking up very quickly. People are seeing the craziness that's happening all over the place. And most of it's from the left-leaning sides or the very heavy deep blue cities. Like, these are the places with all the problems right now. It's not the other places. So we've got, and any example of anything that's gone super blue, we see absolute total destruction. Blue is a bad choice. Washington State, I just think this is weird. They're forcing speeding offenders to install GPS speed limiters. God, that would piss me off. That would piss me off badly. Under this new law, anyone caught driving 20 miles an hour over the limit on highways or 10 over on smaller roads must use the limiter. So, I mean, again, I would probably never break those rules. I mean, that's probably why they're putting it in place, because everybody speeds. Washington State, by the way, is... their state troop, dude, they bust you hard. If you're doing a mile an hour over the speed limit, they'll pull your ass over. Partially because it's always raining, but it's still, they're nuts out there. But yeah, they'll put a limiter on your car, and you have to keep it installed for 120 days or 150 if convicted of reckless driving, which I think is 40 over. So yeah, damn. Which I know driving's a privilege, at least so they tell us. I mean, it kind of is. We certainly don't want just anybody getting behind the wheel like a 5-year-old's going to run people over and kill them. So, I mean, again, you got to have some sort of rules. But should it be as expensive as it is? Oh, my God. You guys, registration here in California is stupid. It's stupid. Senator Grassley, he is telling us that the DHS is issuing hundreds of thousands of work permits illegally. So he's actually hitting up Kristi Noem to get down to the bottom of this nonsense. Apparently, there are these work permit programs that are likely unlawful. Their status is currently being litigated before the U.S. Supreme Court. The Department of Homeland Security is issuing hundreds of thousands of work authorizations to student visa holders in direct violation of the law. This has to do with a bunch of Chinese people that are also holding security jobs in a lot of cases. So this is a big deal. This is us literally locking down. China's screwed. China and India both are screwed right now because they have been stealing from us like crazy. And that's being stopped. And that is what's been forwarding their development. That's what's been forwarding their moving forward. Take that away, they don't really know how to necessarily innovate really well because they haven't been doing it. They've been stealing. So again, a lot of people are given way more credit, I think, than is due. China's smart, don't get me wrong, but they've got a whole slew of problems. They're going to be their own part of the world, and that's cool. But yeah, they're not taking over the planet, and they don't have a chance or even their whole prayer. There's not a hope and a prayer of that happening. Not even close. 7 universities have ended ties with CCP-backed programs. I was kind of stoked to see a couple of the schools on here. One certainly close to my stomping grounds here. But we got Dartmouth College, Temple University, University of California, Davis, University of California, Irvine, University of California, Riverside, and Notre Dame, and the University of Tennessee, UT. You go. Ooh. And so, yeah, go Vols. It's all said. That's kind of cool. The Chinese Scholarship Program, it's the Chinese Scholarship Council is over. No longer happening. Not bringing in these CCP students specifically into our universities. We are stopping them. There's a lot of things everybody's like, oh, they're going to win the war. No, they're not. Not without us. Not without stealing us and our hard work. No, they're not actually. Some are saying there's a copper mine that went down, and it is a black swan event. They're calling it that. Now, I think we'll see. I mean, it's affected prices and stuff. That's certainly the definition of it. It is the second largest copper mine in the world, and it had a giant mud flow. About 800,000 metric tons of mud flew into this copper mine, and now basically it's like this hole's been filled. And to get back to the copper, they've got to dig that 800,000 metric tons of soil out so they can get back to where they were. It's going to be extraordinarily expensive. Takes this thing offline completely. And they provided a good chunk of the copper in the world. Now, copper's kind of slowed down a little bit, and it's one of those funny, they actually look at the rate between copper, I want to say copper and silver, or is it copper and gold? Whichever. But copper, because copper has to do with when we're building, when we're manufacturing, when we're building homes and all that, we lay a lot of copper. When we're building residential neighborhoods, we lay a lot of copper. Copper gets laid all over the place. We need a lot of copper. So, yeah, copper's a really good indicator of certain parts of our economy, if you will. Sharp rise in China, Indonesia oil imports. They think this is Iran still offloading oil at sea and stuff like that, getting around the sanctions. Again, sanctions are, kind of, they don't work exactly, right? So that's part of why they're bullshit. Everyone's like, sanction Russia harder. It's like, we're sanctioning them as hard as we can. Well, use nuclear weapons then, right? I mean, that's literally where they're at. They're like, force them. No, they're free people too. We can't just force people. They're not technically, other than the Ukraine nonsense, but what else are they doing wrong? Again, I think the deep state sucks balls, and I think our country's done some horrendous shit on this planet. So again, I'm not one to bash other countries for their wrongs, even Israel for that matter. And they've certainly they've ratcheted up a few things to make complaints about. But dude, we're far from saints, far from it. We gotta clean up our shit, and then we can go around and start pointing fingers, right? We see the splinter in another man's eye when we can't even see the log in our own. Trump to sign the TikTok U.S. deal today. I think this is going to add another 120 days. Yeah, it gets another 120 days. Was it like 4 months? I don't know. This is getting close to the next election. It's got to be worked out by the election, or else this thing's got to go dark. China's trying to keep it alive. Trump's killed the deadline. Again, like many things with that Hunt for Red October concept they were building way back when. He steered the submarine towards the torpedo, knowing it wouldn't arm in time and it would just break on impact or whatever, right? And that's kind of what he's done. He's gone towards them. He's like, we're aggressively going right at you, and we're going to nail these things that you've been trying to do, and you're not going to be able to get them done in time. And here we are. So we'll see what happens with TikTok. Again, I am no lover. You guys know that, but I know a lot of you dig it. It's cool. I would be just happy if it wasn't the Chinese algorithm, China-controlled algorithm, and I'd prefer them not to be stealing our information, because and they'll still be allowed to train their AI on it. But, whatever. That's fair. And I'm sure that's some of the agreements that's going to be laid out. 1 year anniversary of China's stealthy but stunning stock market rally. Yeah, China started spending money in the stock market, kind of like we had happening. So then all of a sudden the Chinese stock market started doing really well. Again, there's so much artificial stuff happening with the markets right now that this is another reason why so many people think it's just bullshit. We've got countries printing cash and putting it into the stock market so it stays afloat. They've got pension plans, all sorts of things tied up in that. And if that stock market crashes, political careers end. HSBC achieves quantum computing Sputnik moment in the bond markets. It's found this this quantum computing in bond markets, delivering up to a 34% improvement in predicting the probability of winning customer inquiries in the European corporate bond market. And it's just a weird thing. They got this crazy quantum computer that's literally working, and it's become much more accurate at kind of guessing some of the financial stuff. I find interesting, because so much of this stuff I feel like is kind of controlled, like a puppeteer behind the strings. So the fact that this thing's able to nail what's likely going to be done next is kind of cool. Points on that. And this is one of those places where I think AI can be very useful. When it comes to churning through large amounts of data and giving me a synopsis or an average or all sorts of different things that I might want from that data, that's incredible, right? I can load a spreadsheet into AI and be like, all right, tell me, what are the average hours amongst my primary employees, right? Like it can do that for you. It's pretty cool, right? Rather than having to try to do that in other ways. So it's kind of scary. I don't know, whatever. The world's changing, and our computing power and technology is, I think, going to take a quantum jump. I think our evolution in general is going to. I think a lot of people are going to try to go down the tech path too, whatever. We're going to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. They changed the Q2 GDP. They revised it up. It is higher than it was going to be. I told you guys there's going to be noise, sorry. But it was revised higher. Let's see. It started off at 2.96. 1 month later, it was revised to 3.29. And moments ago, the Bureau of Economic Analysis reported that the Q2 GDP was revised once again and even higher to a whopping 3.83%. That's very high. So Trump's numbers, GDP, are going through the roof. Like he keeps saying, we're on fire. So we're, again, it's things are a lot better than they've been claiming. We actually had gold's positive now. Gold was negative. Silver went over 45 or whatever. Silver was over 45 at one point today. Oh, it's back up. It's got to be over 45 right now, I think. Yeah, look. Oh, my God. Look at that. 45.44. $1.25 it went up today. Bad sign for the dollar. Gold's up too. It's not back up to 38 yet. It's been taking a little bit of it took a hard downturn, I thought, earlier in the day. But yeah, silver's big time. Again, everybody's expecting it to kind of get up to 50. And then we're going to have a sort of a flattening for a period of time. And then we're going to have another bump. And that bump, is probably, I think 80-ish is probably, and then we're going to maybe start to see increments depending how much longer we can make it, but I don't think we can make it too much longer. I think this teetering top is going to crush and fall at some point here in the future. Again, folks, just I don't want to spend a lot of time. 401k. If you got a 401k or an IRA, You're tied to taxes. You're tied to cash. Get out of that system. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. You're going to get out tax-free, penalty-free, up to 10% free silver. You're going to get a free Ronald Reagan coin, most likely. You're also going to get this gold book on how to, the information, the kit, we call it, on how to save money with this precious metals IRA. And you will actually find that precious metals holds buying power better than anything. It's been used throughout history. So go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that system before they get out of you. And we know that's their plan. It's their plan, Jan. Congresswoman from Michigan announced Thursday that she will introduce articles of impeachment against Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr., citing healthcare chaos. So, yeah, there you go. Not surprised. Boris Johnson's kind of peddling a Russia hoax against Nigel Farage right now. Again, this is how the deep state works. London's Mayor Khan, he escalates a feud with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was calling him out as being a douchehole. He is. And then he calls Donald Trump racist, sexist, Islamophobic. This guy's a Muslim also. And again, London's taken over. I think most Brits would be like, I'm surprised you understand that, Dan, rather than the other way around. I mean, Brits get it. They know what's up. But yeah, most of us Americans have no freaking clue. London's like DC, basically, kind of. It's its own thing. It's like, right? Like it's kind of its own company. It's part of the original three, like Vatican City is the other one. These are three areas of the world. DC, Vatican, and London are the three areas in the world that are weird. They're not normal. Not at all. Ex-French President Nicolas Sarkozy, he gets a 5-year prison for conspiracy with Gaddafi. There you go. I remember when he was in, because I loved saying his name, Sarkozy. I love douching out on the French people, Macron. Like I love it. You want a croissant? I love saying their words so stupid as possible. It's powerful. We scrambled some jets to intercept Russian warplanes off Alaska's coast. This is just stupid shit. Couple Tu-95 long-range bombers and a pair of Su-35 fighters. Su-35's good craft. I mean, it's, I'm sure we sent up our F-22s. We got our best up there, so it was, we sent 4 F-16s? Really? That's all? Nice. We're not even going to send our good shit. We didn't even send our good shit. We were not worried about this at all. We sent F-16s. Fuck, please. And word, please. Telegraph is saying Trump is washing his hands of the Ukraine war. This is, Kirill Dmitriev, I think former leader, right? Isn't that? He goes, what may appear at first glance a stunning U-turn may actually be bad news for Volodymyr Zelensky. Yeah, Volodymyr's in a bad place right now. He's actually saying he might be willing to quit after the war. But while the war's going on, he's going to stay in power. That's the part that's left out. He highlights the after the war, I'm out. I don't want to be at peacetime. I'm done. We're going to have an election. I want out. I'm going to go take my hundreds of millions of dollars and live on my yachts. Life will be good. Amen. Iran rapidly rebuilding the missile production site struck by Israel. It is missing all the critical ingredients for the solid fuel. So they're not doing anything like that yet, but they seem to be making progress as far as rebuilding this. This is not the 3 sites that we bombed. This is one of the sites that Israel bombed. So it's not our fault. They're able to build it back. Now, again, I'm sure Israel's trying to make points for we should be able to attack them again. Come on, don't take this away from us. We want to attack Iran so much because they hate Iran as much as Iran hates them. It's just like a mutual hatred. Houthi drone strike slams into a hotel in southern Israel, wounded 20 people. Kind of crazy to see this happen. So 17 seconds long. Shucky darn. Yeah, so that's not good. That's not good at all, obviously. These are the things that continue to keep the atrocities going. Obviously, this is why we're actually quarantined in our solar system, because we are literally one of the only species in the entire world, the galaxy that literally kills each other like we do. It's kind controlling each other is a different thing from killing each other. Like, this is just absurd. It's weird. Starbucks laying off like 1% of their stores or something like that. They're shutting a bunch of stores. They're calling it a $1 billion restructuring plan. What's trippy to me is that it's not that much of the big picture. It's their number of stores in North America will decline by about 1%. It's a $1 billion restructure. Anyway, they're firing 900-ish people, and they will be getting rid of some stores, which I worked at Starbucks when they went through, actually when they bought Dietrich's, and then we picked up a crap ton of stores when that happened, and then we ended up having to sell a bunch of them. We had a Starbucks literally right across the street from the Starbucks I worked at. It's craziness. Sec Duffy is talking about NASA and going back to the moon, and I don't know, kind of cool. We're going to be doing a manned mission soon, and he kind of talks about that.
Yeah, so listen, this is exciting. This is the first time we're going back to the moon in, since the 70s. We're not going to land this time. We're going to go out around the moon and come back. And by the way, our 4-person crew is amazing. Hopefully we'll have them on the show one time. And so what we learned on Artemis 2 is going to bring us to Artemis 3, where we're going to land back on the moon. And again, space exploration is exciting. People love it. And this time when we go back to the moon, we're going to stay. We're going to set up a base. What we learn from that is going to bring us, that knowledge bring us, I think, to Mars as well. So again, what we've done at NASA is that there's a lot of science, a lot of important science, but the science we're going to do is the science for human space exploration. We are going back to the moon. The Chinese want to get there too. They want to get there too, Stuart, as well. They want to go to the South Pole. There's ice there. Ice is water. Ice is CO2. That means life. And so they're trying to get there before us. We're going to win this second space race. America, NASA, our astronauts, our engineers, best in the world. So incredibly cool time. By the way, everyone is going into space. What we did on the space station has developed a multi-billion-dollar business. Blue Origin and SpaceX and others, you can get a satellite into orbit for less than $1 million right now. 10 years ago, you couldn't do that, Stuart. So what happens on the moon, I can't project, but it's going to be amazing.
Water and ice and CO2 and ice CO2 or dry ice, basically. That doesn't imply life. He said life, though. It's very interesting that he said that. Just pointing that out. Again, us, moon, the fact we're still using chemical rockets is kind of a trip, but I don't know. I'm curious to see how things evolve over the next short period of time. Right now, SpaceX is really the only person that could pull this off. I mean, Europe's got a decent space program, but they just can't do nearly as many launches, and with all their stupid green crap, they could never pull it off. SpaceX, hands down doing way more launches than anybody else. And so this is, hands down. I mean, China's working on building it up, but they're nowhere near. And I'm pretty sure SpaceX has actually been very good about not hiring spies. In fact, you guys remember how they were trying to get mad and sue SpaceX for not hiring people from other countries. It was because they were trying to get spies in there, and then they were trying to sue them for not hiring spies, but they weren't allowed to because of the security agreements they signed with the United States government. So again, a lot of crazy going on. Who knows? I know some people don't even believe, but whatever the case might be, the world is changing, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. Glad you guys are along for the ride with us. Ripple away, my friends. We got a lot happening, and we'll see how this week plays out. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.